A child will be born to us who will rule with divine authority. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Isaiah 9 verse 6. Welcome to our Advent reflections, our Wake Up Well 2025 Advent reflections. And as you step into Advent, maybe the chaos of December, I want you just to take a breath right now. Just let your shoulders drop. Just notice God with you right now. Isaiah gives us this stunning promise. He says, a child will be born who will rule with divine authority. Mighty God, Wonderful Counselor, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. That is way more than like a pretty verse for a Christmas card. God is announcing that Jesus actually wants to be with you and for you and me today. So let's think about those four things. First, Wonderful Counselor. Think about all the stuff that might be spinning in your head this Christmas time. Could be money worries, could be decisions that you need to make, just the stuff that needs to be done, the conversation that you're dreading, many positive things as well, probably spinning around in our minds. Advent isn't just God saying, pretend it's all fine. Advent is God saying, let me into it. God with us. Jesus isn't the kind of counselor who doesn't kind of really know, but just kind of nods politely when you speak to them. He knows you completely, and yet he still loves you completely. Even now, under your breath, you might want to just kind of say, or maybe at some time this week, when the rubber hits the road, Jesus, would you be my wonderful counselor to me? It's just a simple prayer that we can pray every day. Receive his wisdom, his counsel. Secondly, Isaiah calls him Mighty God. Not a kind of gentle and weak God, Mighty God. And Jesus came, he was the same fragile baby, but he also carries a real power to break into our lives, power to heal, power to restore, power to interrupt anxiety, power to set people free. Maybe you've seen God move in someone else's life like that, and you've thought, okay, I think that's possible for them, but God's kind of done with me. It's not going to happen to me. Well, I think the opposite might be true, because Mighty God steps into real lives, real streets, real, neighborhoods, real bus stops, real workplaces, real places here in Sheffield, right here where you are. So where do you need his power? Why don't you ask him today to be Mighty God? The third thing that Isaiah calls Jesus is Everlasting Father. Now, I know that for some of us, the idea of a father, or that word, can come with baggage. Perhaps it can come with even distance or disappointment. But the father heart of God is the opposite of all of those things. Everlasting. Not, kind of here today, gone tomorrow, not flaring up just for this Advent season even. Constant, patient. And some of us have been maybe carrying a low-level sense of disappointment with God, the sense that maybe he's tolerating you rather than delighting in you. But Advent is Father God kneeling down, opening his arms wide, looking you in the eye and saying, you are my child. I am not going anywhere. And finally, Isaiah describes Jesus as the Prince of Peace. That's a whole different kind of a peace. That is not a kind of scented candle, bit of me time peace. That is a deep, stubborn peace that doesn't go away regardless of circumstances. Peace right in the middle of sleepless nights or unanswered questions, or the cost of living squeeze that we're living in, or the kind of ache of things that haven't yet come to pass. The Prince of Peace doesn't wait until everything is sorted. He walks right into the mess and brings his presence there. That's why the angels could announce peace on earth even while there was still mess and chaos going on earth 2,000 years ago. So I want to encourage you with these words as we head into this Advent season together, as you even head back into your day. Let Jesus be your wonderful counselor. Ask him and expect him to interact with you in real time. Trust Jesus to be mighty God. Dare to believe that he can move in those situations that perhaps you've half given up on. Rest in your everlasting Father. You don't need to prove yourself before God today. And welcome the Prince of Peace. Invite his peace and his stillness into your body and your mind and your home. Advent isn't just a countdown to Christmas. It's a waking up to the reality that Jesus is already here, already with you, already for you, already at work. So as you go today, may you wake up well in that knowledge, in his presence. May you notice the whispers, may you know his power, and may his peace guard your heart all the way through this Advent season. And I bless your day.